Hi, welcome to this training video about creating reports in Targetprocess. Reports are a good way to visualize a lot of data in the system. So to create a report, first thing you gotta do is click the create button and go to report. You will get to a screen that looks like this. I tend to go for one of the first options, which just gives you a blank template. Of course, you can look through the various templates that Targetprocess has provided. In this example, I'll start creating a table. Now, first up, you can choose, do you want to filter on any type of team or any type of entity? In this case, I am going to create a report based on user stories because I have a lot of data there. And I can put a filter if I want to. Next to that, there is also different types of reports. The most commonly used is entity reports. You can also go more to historical reports or cumulative reports, which are more complicated and I will not cover in this video. Okay. Once you've set up everything you like, you can create your report. It will take a while to load in the data and then we can start. Once it's loaded, we can see that we basically see the same setup as we have done before here, and we can still edit it if we would like to. So if you want to put a filter additionally, you can still set that up. Next to that, you can set the update interval, which by default is pretty okay. And you can check out the source data. So if you click source data, you will see all the records that are in your dataset right now. And you can see all the information that is available to you. Yes. So if you have any doubts about which information you are going to use, you can just simply come here and look, oh, look, I need the field effort or lead time is filled in with a number, etc., etc. This gives you a good overview of all your data. Also, you can export this to a CSV file if you prefer to work in Excel. Then all the fields we've just saw in the source data will be listed in the data fields. Data fields can be used on the right hand side in your report to build anything you like. The options are almost limitless. So to create one example, let's say I want to see count of records. So I drag and drop count of records and I see that I have 7,256 user stories in this system. If I want to see how they are all, how they are, in which state they are at this moment, I can simply drag and drop state on there. So there are limitless possibilities. If I would add name, you will see that I get 7,000 lines, probably one for each name. So the report will always try to create everything as unique as possible. Now, reports are not the best to edit data or add data. They are the best to visualize data. So in this example with a table, let's say I want to focus on team iterations or something, so sprints, and you will see that we get everything of these user stories per team iteration. You can also group by planning interval, that was the word I was looking for, group by planning interval, and you will see that it will group automatically all these user stories by this planning interval. Now, I might not be interested in these first 1,299 and also these ones without any team iteration. For this, we have additional filters that we can set up. Note that these filters will not apply to your source data. They will only apply to the report we see on the screen right now. So let me set up a filter and let's say I want to see only items where team iteration exists. There's other possibilities as well. They are pretty self-explanatory. So we have this now. Let's say I want to change the order of my columns. I can simply drag and drop here any way I like. Okay. Now there is also this field drop to pivot. much like in Excel, you can create pivots. And as an example, let me put state in there to pivot on state. And you get something like this. In this case, a lot of the user stories are in production. If we scroll a bit down, we see that they are divided over the different states. If you would like to have a total column as well, we can just simply add the count of records again. So it's twice in there, and we will also see the total of them. Yes. Let me remove this one again for the sake of overview. What you can also do is adapt the formatting on this column by simply clicking it. It takes a while to load, and then you can see all the things you want to do. So you can sort the column based on the number. You can also change the formatting. So if you don't like decimal values, or you want to separate thousands by a space, for example, or you want to add a suffix or a prefix. Let me add a prefix, like a number, something like that. So you can see how many there are. Pretty easy. There's also visual encoding, which could be a cell bar, which could be opacity, which could be a static color. I personally like bottom line because it's subtle and it gets the deal done. Okay. Now, as you might notice, my planning intervals are showing, but I'm not showing how many user stories are actually in this planning interval. I can also set that up, because here in the group by, if I go to these settings, I can ask for the subtotal. That will show me exactly how many there are. This is a short overview of how tables work. In the same report, based on the same source data, you can also add other views. So there is this little button here at the top to add a view. Let's say I want to add a chart. That's one of the more popular options. And here I get that same setup view again. So let's say this time I don't want to look at the count, I want to look at the effort. I can drag and drop the effort on the graph. In the beginning it doesn't really matter where I put it, but once I start adding some fields like portfolio, it will change the look. So in this case I have dots. I might not be interested in dots. I prefer a stacked bar chart, and it will show me directly what it looks like. If I would also like to see the number on these bars, I can take the effort field again and put it in the label. That way it will show also on the label how many there are. If you would like to see, for example, by team, what is ongoing or what is in which team, we can add that as a color. Now, the big advantage to colors is that you can disable them in the view as you like. I'm quickly gonna switch these around because I like this setup a little bit better than the previous one. There we go. If I click finish setup, I get my first table again. I also get my new chart view, which I could have given a better name. And here I can see what my results are. I can also focus on certain portfolios, or I can exclude certain portfolios, which makes it very easy to visually play with this data. Now, if you're interested in what these numbers are, you can always click it and go to the data. That will only show the data points that you have selected on the graph. Okay. Going back into the setup, what you can also do, let's say I want to add effort to this one as well. What you can also do is you can start changing the calculation. You can also add the title. I want to say the effort divided by 10 or something. I have no idea why, yeah? But just for the example. I can edit the calculation and I can start dividing by 10. There we go. Now the effort is divided by 10. Stuff like that you can also do. It can get very complicated very easily. Most of you won't need this, but it is there and it is possible. If you are happy with everything, you can start naming everything. You can give it a description. You can rename the view you just made, or you can duplicate it, or you can change the positions. I think that should be about it, what you can learn about setting up these reports. The only thing I would like to mention is, if you do not find your data fields here on the left hand side, there is a separate training video from me where I do explain how to use the button Add Field or Formula to get almost any data field that is present in the system into your data fields. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped. If you liked it, feel free to leave a comment and let me know how it went. See you. Bye.